Hello students. So from today onwards we will be starting our new chapter, that is doubly reinforced beams, in the same module of design of beams. It is our third chapter as per your syllabus. The first was singly reinforced beam, which we have completed, and moving on to the next, it is doubly reinforced beams. So basically we will discuss what is doubly reinforced beams. So when an applied moment on beam is more than the moment of resistance of singly reinforced beam, and moment of resistance of singly reinforced beams, that is mu lim. So if the applied moment is more than mu lim, the moment of resistance of beam is increased by providing reinforcement in compression zone. Up till now in singly reinforced beam we have discussed that steel bars are provided only in the tension zone, and now onwards, as we are dealing with doubly reinforced beams, the term doubly itself suggests that we are dealing with double zones, that is two zones. So we will be providing steel bars in tension zone as well as compression zone. So this type of beam is called doubly reinforced beam. So this is the figure of doubly cross section. Here you can see that steel bars are provided in both the zones, that is compression zone as well as tension zone. Now why to provide it? So basically when to provide it, so first reason is that when the depth of beam is restricted, the doubly reinforced beam are provided. Now what do you mean by the depth of beam is restricted? For example, let us assume that we have solved a design problem as we have done in previous chapter 2, and the depth of beam, that is small d, comes out to be 1500 mm, that is 1.5 meters. Now 1.5 meter as the depth of beam is practically not feasible. So to restrict it, we are providing a doubly reinforced beam. That means to resist the extra moment that is applied on the beam, we are providing steel reinforcements in the compression zone. Clear? This is our first and foremost reason when to provide it. The second is to increase the moment of resistance of a beam having limited dimensions. Means if we are dealing with something that is not to be exceeded, means we have criteria that is to be fixed, that these are the dimensions only we have to be dealing with. In that case is also doubly reinforced sections are to be provided. The third thing is that minimum compression reinforcement is provided to hold the shear reinforcement. Now this term shear reinforcement we will see later on. It is our chapter in the RCC portion in position and for increasing the ductility of beam. So to increase the ductility of the beam, also doubly reinforced section are provided. And the last thing is that we are providing doubly reinforced beam to counter the extra forces that we don't discuss in our syllabus. It is not in our syllabus, to counter the wind forces, seismic forces and temperature stresses. So these are the basic reasons why and when to provide a doubly reinforced beam. Now starting any beam chapter, that means starting any portion, whether it may be singly reinforced beam, doubly reinforced beam, or we will see next T beams, the basic funda that has to be understand is the stress strain diagram. Again, stress strain diagram are very important as per GTO point of view is concerned. Total 3 stress strain diagrams we will be dealing with. The first we have already seen in singly reinforced. Today we will be seeing in the doubly reinforced, and in the next chapter we will be seeing T. Out of these 3, any one is always asked in our GTO examination. So looking into it, this is our cross section of the doubly reinforced beam. The capital D, that is our overall depth, will be same. Small d, that is our effective depth, will again be same from the top layer to the area of steel in tension. The new term that is been added is D dash. Now D dash means top cover. Again, D dash means top cover. That means the distance between the top fiber and the compression reinforcement is termed as D dash. Again, bottom cover and top cover are the two terms we will be dealing with. In the last chapter we were dealing only with cover, that was bottom cover, and in this chapter we will be dealing with two types of cover, bottom cover, that is this portion, and top cover, that is this portion. Now moving on to the strain dia. The strain dia is same as we have seen in the previous chapter. The term 0.035 is being considered from this clause, as we have seen in the previous chapter 2. This term, that is maximum strain in tension 0.87 Fi upon Es plus 0.002, is getting from this equation in your page number 69 of your IS code. The new thing that is been added is this epsilon SC. Epsilon is strain, S stands for steel, and C stands for compression. So strain in steel in compression. Again, this value you do not need to by heart it. It is mentioned in your IS code, but as we have seen, you need to know exactly where the values are being given. So this value you can get from page number 96. I again request you to pause this video and move on to page number 96 of your IS code. So moving on to page number 96, you will see a equation here, FSC. F stands for stress, S stands for steel, C stands for compression. So stress in steel in compression, it states that design stress in compression reinforcement corresponding to a strain of, that means the strain value is mentioned here. So this value directly can be implemented here in your stress strain diagram if it is asked. Now moving on to the stress diagram. Here the stress diagram are divided into two portions. Why it is divided into two portions? Because it is a doubly reinforced beam. Now basically let us understand what is doubly reinforced beam. Let us take an example that mu. If in the previous chapter we have considered three relations, mu less than mu lim, second one was mu equal to mu lim, and the third was mu greater than mu lim. If you could remember, we were using equation number B for this, equation number C for this of your page 96, and equation number D for this. And in that equation number D, it can be seen that it is mentioned that this section cannot be designed, or it has to be redesigned, because it is not feasible to provide singly reinforced section for this. So again we will take the same example. Let us say that mu is greater than mu lim. That means LHS is greater than RHS. If we need to balance these two cases, if we need to balance LHS and RHS, we need to add something in the RHS portion. We need to add a value in the RHS portion, and that value is mu2. And that value is mu2. So this is the total moment. This will be the moment of singly reinforced beam, and this value will be the moment of doubly reinforced beam. Clear? So total moment will be equal to moment of singly plus moment of doubly. So here the stress diagram are divided in the same portion. Total stress will be stress of singly plus stress of doubly, or as per our book it will be auxiliary. So stress diagram for singly, it will be same as we have seen in the previous chapter. No change in that. The only change is in stress for doubly. Again here C1 is acting at the CG of concrete. C1 is acting at the CG of concrete, that is we can see from page number 69 of your code. Here from page number 69 we can see this figure, that it is given here your stress strain diagram for a singly RC beam. Now moving on to our auxiliary section. So auxiliary section, the rest values will be same. The only change is that the case here, that is C2 will be acting at the steel bar in compression. C2 will be acting at the steel bar in compression. It will not act at the CG of concrete. So the distance here will be d dash. Here the distance as per code was 0.42 XU, and now the distance will be considering it to be d dash. Again the rest forces are similar. So moving on to the forces for a singly balanced section, that means for this section C1, T1 and Z1, that is compression force in section number 1. Let us say this is section number 2 and section number 1 and section number 2. So the compression force in section number 1, as we have seen in previous chapter, it will be same. T1 again same. Z1, that is lever arm, and lever arm is the distance between compression force and tension force. Again it will be same. So for a singly balanced section, all the three values will be similar as we have discussed. Change will be in auxiliary section. So for auxiliary section C2, that is this force, that force will be equal to FSC minus FCC into ASC. Now how this value came? So C is basically compression. So compression, or we can say, we have already seen an equation sigma, that sigma equal to P by A. We have all referred this equation. Stress will be equal to force upon area. If we make force as a subject, so it will be P equal to sigma into A. Sigma is stress and A is area. Here the same thing is been done. P is our C2, A is our ASC, and sigma, that is stress, is FSC minus FCC. So the stress here will be FSC minus FCC. ASC will be our area of steel in compression, and C2 will be our compressive force. Now FSC is stress in compression, reinforcement, and FCC is compression stress in concrete. Moving on to the value of T2. T2 will be again same, 0.87 Fi AST, but here if we consider it to be T1, it will be AST1, and if we consider it to be value T2, it will be considered as AST2. And the last thing, that will be lever arm. Lever arm will be the distance between these two forces. The distance between the top fiber and the area of steel in tension, that is AST, is always small d, that is effective depth. This, as we know, that is top cover d dash. So the remaining distance will be d minus d dash. So our lever arm in secondary section or auxiliary section will be Z2 equal to d minus d dash. Okay. Now moving on to the moment of resistance. Moment of resistance, as we have seen, for doubly RC beam will be equal to singly moment of resistance of singly plus moment of resistance of auxiliary. Considering total moment equal to mu, moment of singly as mu limb, and moment of doubly as mu2. So if we need to find moment of doubly, then we will be taking mu2 as a subject. So making mu2 as a subject, the equation we will be getting as mu2 equal to mu minus mu limb. Yeah. So now pause this video and move on to page number 96 of your IS code. There you will see a equation in the right hand top corner. Again, in the previous chapter we were discussing the clause G1.1, and G1.1 was section without compression reinforcement. That means we were dealing with singly reinforced beams, and now as we are dealing with compression reinforcement, we will be seeing equation G1.2. So now we will be seeing equations from G1.2 up till G2, means these whole pages or these whole sections will be considering. So moving again, you can see this right hand side top corner equation. The LHS portion is mu minus mu limb. If you can refer, we have already seen mu minus mu limb. That means LHS is given as mu2 or moment of doubly. So if we need to find moment of doubly beam, then the equation is mentioned in your IS code, that is FSC ASC d minus d dash. Again, it is very important to keep in mind this. It is a printing mistake in our code. Wherever you see the term FSC, you need to substitute there FSC minus FCC. Again, do not overwrite anything in your IS code. You just need to remember this, and we will be solving much, so it will be practice and you can easily get through this. So wherever in the IS code if you see FSC mentioned, there you have to substitute the term FSC minus FCC. In this page you can see here in the two sides, that is first you can see the FSC term here, and the second you can see FSC in this equation. So in this both equations you can see the term FSC. There we will be substituting FSC as FSC minus FCC. Clear? So moving again, here you can see the equation to find mu2, that is doubly moment. It can also be found out from our stress strain diagram. If we take moment of T2 into Z2, that is our force into perpendicular distance, again this equation can be solved to find our mu2, that is moment of doubly section, and similarly using the compression force also we can find the moment of doubly section. Now the thing arises how to find FSC and FCC. These are the two basic things that you need to remember, because we will be solving numericals from the next video, and these things are the base to find the moment or to design a doubly section. Clear? So the first thing will be to find FCC. FCC, again elaborating it, F stands for stress, C stands for compression, and again C stands for concrete, or you can say stress in concrete in compression, and it will be always equal to maximum compressive stress that we have already seen in the previous chapter. It will be equal to 0.446 FCK, and FCK is the grade of concrete. It will be always mentioned in the question. So from this equation we will be finding FCC. Now the thing arises to find FSC. FSC is the FSC, that is stress in steel in compression. That means we are dealing with the steel in compression zone. So there are basically two types of steel we will be dealing with. The first will be mild steel, or you can say Fe250 steel. So the first thing we'll be dealing with is either mild steel or Fe250 steel. So for that the equation will be 0.87 Fy. Only for mild steel, keep in mind, only for mild steel the equation will be 0.87 Fy. Substituting Fy equal to 250, we'll be getting an answer 217.5 Newton per mm square. Now what about HYSD steel? That is high yield strength deformed. So for HYSD steel you need to take a screenshot of it, keep a note of it, because it is not mentioned either in our textbook or in our IS code. Again, it is not mentioned in our IS code or in our textbook. It is mentioned in SP16, which is not allowed in our examination. So for HYSD steel, that is high yield strength deformed bars, it are basically converted into two, that is Fe415 or Fe500, and the thing we need to find will be the ratio of D dash by D. The value of FSC will depend upon the ratio D dash by D. D dash will be our top cover and D will be effective depth. So this ratio can be 0.05, 0.1, 0.15 or 0.2. Let us take an example. If the top cover is given as 50, that means D dash equal to 50, and effective depth is given as 450 mm. So the ratio we'll be getting is D dash by D will be equal to 0.11. So here whatever the equation or whatever the ratio you are getting, we will always consider it to be 0.10. Keep in mind, we will always consider the ratio to be 0.1. For example, if the ratio comes out to be either 0.7, 0.6 or up to 0.07 up to 0.13 or 14, we will always approx it to value 0.10. So for examination point of view, you will be referring or you will be remembering only one value. If it is a typical question, then only you will be required to proper refer this table, else we will be referring only one value, that is 353. Clear? And in 99% cases, always the D dash by D range is between this term, that is 0.07 to 0.13. So for examination point of view, mostly Fe415 steel is given and the ratio will be always what point we will be considering is as 0.10. So we will be only remembering this value, that is 353. So we will be taking FSC equal to 353 Newton per mm square for Fe 415 bars. Clear? This will be very helpful in solving your numericals. So we will keep up to this thing, and we will start numericals from the next video. Thank you.